So Sims 4 is having a lots and lots of expansion packs. Some has been game changing, example seasons or get to business, no, hobbies and businesses, and others, well, what can I say, they exist, example Journey to Path 2, but back in the 2015, Get to Work was the first major expansion pack which promised us something new to the game with the ability to follow Sims to work. No more disappearing in a rabbit holes, and finally we could see what Sims are up to when they are at the work in the day. But it's almost a decade when the Sims Get to Work was released, and today we are asking, was it worth it? Was it revolutionary, as I think I could say? And what was it all about? So remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and let's just start. So what exactly the Get to Work introduced to us, and what did it give us? Well, first it gave us 3 new active careers which we didn't have before in the game. There was this doctor, detective and scientist, and unlike the usual watch the sim go to the rabbit hole, these let you go alone and you could guide the sim work in the workday and move on with the career and have fun with the workday that you couldn't do in the base game. Also, they introduced us this retail system, which is kinda nice and outdated because we have businesses and hobbies right now. But basically, you sim could run their own businesses with not so death in them, if I could say that. But anyway, it was the first time when you could, example, sell things what you wanted to sell. And of course, because this is a Sims, there is always some kind of supernatural plot twist. They gave us our first occult, which were aliens. And of course with them we got the new secret world or area called Sixam, the planet where our extraterrestrial friends live. And of course we got new world with this expansion pack called Magnolia Promenade, which was basically a 4-lot world where were these 3 different retail shops which were pre-made and this one empty lot where you could build a house or you could make your own retail business. So the biggest selling point with this expansion pack were these 3 active careers. You could be detective, doctor or scientist, or you could open your own business with this retail menu in here. So let's start with the detective career. So basically you started your work with the police department, and here your first task was to get the assignment for the new task. And the main goal with this career was to solve crimes that happened all around the sim worlds. You just needed to click this map and your sim traveled to the crime scene. And in here there was this panel that tells you what you needed to do, and here you start to collect evidence from the crime, and basically you needed to do everything that was said in the left corner to solve the crime in the lot. And this was actually all about the about the detective career. Then you went back to the police department, and there you collect the evidence on the whiteboard, and there you checked who was guilty, and then you arrested them. And that was kind of it with this career. So even when you leveled up in this career, they unlocked some new activities that you could do, but basically when you get the suspect in the department, you then just ask quest about them and then you solve the case. Kind of retrospective point of view. This career was just clicking the objects and collecting stuff. And then there was this doctor career, which was basically the same as the detective. You need to do all the tasks in here, but you needed to find cure or disease to the patient, which is here at the room waiting the doctor. And when you leveled up in here with the career, you could start to treat these patients and give them cure in here. But basically this was also just clicking the sim and finding out which of these symptoms were with the sim and which were not, and you could treat them rightly or you could treat them bad, but they never died if you treated them bad, which was kind of shame, but I get it why they can't do that. And also you could take x-ray to them, run tests from them, do analysis, fill reports in here, but after a while you start to feel that this is also a little bit repetitive, like the detective one. But what was really interesting with this career was that it was really hard to find the real symptom, the real disease to the sim, and basically you needed to guess. There was a way to figure out what the symptoms were and what was the disease they had, but sometimes it was really hard to find the real cure to the Sims. They left home with like that, with bad mood and having not so good time with themselves. So the variety wasn't so good with this career neither either. But what was really fun, that when your sim was pregnant and was having a child, you could choose that you travel with them to the hospital and you could have baby in the hospital, and then they go to the let's sabotage this, I didn't know you could do that, but they go to this machine and there they give birth to the new baby sim. And finally we got this scientist career, which was all the same, that you needed to complete these objects from this left corner, and basically it was just repetitive text clicking. But I think this is the most popular of these three careers, because this was kind of fleshed out pretty well. You could invent here new machines, which made new gameplay, which was nice. You could make new potions or serums, which affected your gameplay if you give them to your sim or others. You could build here a rocket ship or garden these little things. Let's harvest them all. And also, when you were enough levels with this career, you could make satellite dish and call the aliens, and that way interrupt the day when the aliens came here and visit you. Or with the satellite dish you could make the whole world dance with yourself, or angry, or pass out, or anything. So I think this was the most creative career of these three, and it doesn't feel so repetitive as fast as the others two. So I think that's why this is the most popular of these careers. But after a while it still feels a little bit the same, that there isn't so much variation in your days that you could do, and somehow it's not so unpredictable. Example, in Sims 3 we have these ambitions expansion pack where were also these active careers, but it was really different. Whenever you go to the work, it was really different that what happened in that work day. Example, if you were firefighter, you could go to the fire department and then you could do different stuff in there, but you never knew if there's gonna be a fire, what kind of fire that was, or did you need to save someone, or was it just that you need to put the fire down. So I think I'm comparing these active careers to the Sims 3's ambitions, because they were really good, and that's why these are a little bit repetitive. Why is it that so hard word to say? Repetitive. Whatever. But yeah, this feels like some kind of mini games that you need to do, and not like real career paths that you need to do with your Sims life. So I think the biggest problem is that it doesn't feel so fleshed out that it could be. At that time it felt really good, and sometimes when I'm playing these active careers I'm feeling like they're really good, and this is one of the most fun expansion pack with the active careers, and they kind of feel exciting, but when you are playing them all the time it's getting some kind of grind vibe in there and it's not feeling any more fun. So I think they are kinda nice, and sometimes when you are playing, example, Not So Berry, they are fun carriers to play, but other than that I wouldn't play them as much as they should be because they are expansion pack carriers. I don't know, what do you think? And last, some kind of big carrier thing was this retail system that we get in the Sims 4 Get to Work. You could own your own bakery and start working with the bakery stuff, or you could be retailer. So basically you could sell clothing, electronics, baked goods, or everything that you could made in your mind that could be in here and make to the sale. Here you could manage your employees, you could hire someone to be your employee. So basically this works as same as the new businesses and hobbies. And here are also the perks that you could buy, and you get these perks whenever you have good customer experience or they buy something. But what I think what was most annoying in this retail system was that there wasn't so much visitors in your shop, so it took really long time that you could get anyone in your shop and that way start to evolve your business in a right way or in a right path. And when they get there, they will be there like hours and hours to figure out do they want to buy something. So I remember one time that there wasn't anyone in here at my shop, and when there came someone in here, they were spending and figuring out 3 or 4 hours should they buy the object or not. So I was really frustrated when I tried to have them to buy something. And what they did well in the businesses and hobbies is that when you hire someone, you could actually manage what they are doing in the business, because with this retail mechanic or system you couldn't make them to do things that you wanna do. So when you hire someone, they just stand there and basically they are not doing so much that you wish they are doing in there. And then that way it was kind of a nightmare if you have employee in your retail shop. So if I'm comparing this to the Sims 2 Open for Business, I think this was way more micromanaging than it was having the shop in the Sims 2. And I spent more time to just click in the Sims in here and try to sell them something that what I had to spend time with the Sims 2 when there was shop in my game. I haven't played so much with the retail system because I was more interested about the active carriers that we get with this expansion pack. I've tried this few times, but always I'm getting frustrated and I'm like, well, whatever, I don't wanna do this. And I'm happy that we're having right now the businesses and hobbies expansion pack, because it is more fun way to play. Example, the retail system, you could have hobby classes in there, keep them to your Sims or your customers, and then you can have the side hustle shop in some corner in your business, and that way make it more fun and you don't need to just stand here and try to sell things that the Sims are not buying anyway. And then finally my favorite part of this expansion pack, the aliens. So with this expansion pack we finally got aliens. Oh my god, when we are getting some kind of fix with this raining inside bug. But yeah, basically it was the same as the Sims 2. If your male sim get abducted at night with the aliens, they could get pregnant and have alien baby that way. And I'm not sure if it's some kind of bug, but you need to have the satellite dish to call the aliens in here. So you really need to have the active carrier playthrough one time with your save file. But when you start to play with the legacy, which were sometime abducted, after that your legacy household is all the time abducted by aliens, and that way you're always having alien babies at your house. But it is fun but it can also be kinda annoying. But yeah, basically what you could do with the aliens was that you could disguise yourself, and when someone find out that you were alien, your sim get moodlet that oh no, their secret was put in the daylight, so it was really fun. There was new interactions with the aliens, you could empathize other sims if they are feeling sad or any uncomfortable or negative moodlets. You could scare them with the probe, or you could erase their memory so they don't remember you anymore. So it was kind of fun way. Example, if your sim was caught that they were alien, you could just memory erase them, and that way nobody don't know that your sim is alien. And also you could read their sim minds, you could analyze their personality, which is pretty nice way to find out if the sim is compatible to your sim or not. With the rocket ship you could upgrade it to the point where you could travel through the wormhole, and when you travel to the wormhole you could go to the Sigsam planet, the new secret planet or world with this expansion pack. Let's go there. And here we are at the Sigsam right now. The other way how you could go to the Sigsam was with the scientist active carrier, and then you could make this wormhole machine, and that way you could travel to the Sigsam also. And here is the Sigsam, and as you can see it is really empty. There isn't so much to do. You could collect this rocket, these space rocks in here, and find another aliens if you could find them. Sometimes there is alien parties going on in here, and then there is these sofas or chairs and some kind of bar stool or bar table where you could then order some drinks, but other than that there isn't so much going on in this area, which is kinda sad because this would be so cool place example to make a lot after you unlock this world. But yeah, Get to Work was really good expansion pack for skiffy storytelling. I'm always loving that we are having some kind of occult or space stuff in our game, and I just had one storyline where my sim was alien and was living all his life in the world, and he get the wormhole machine from his father so he could travel to the Sigsam, and then he started to live in the Sigsam, and I decided that they finally moved to the Sigsam and had the rest of their life in here with other aliens. I think the best way to experience the aliens is to experience them with the scientist carrier. There you could build a portal or this wormhole machine to the Sigsam, and you could experiment the aliens when they come to your active carrier day, and when you have the satellite dish you could get abducted. But other than that, we are getting so much better occults right now in the game, and I'm really hoping that we're having some kind of refresh to the aliens. I think we're not getting, because we are not getting any back refreshes, but I'm really hoping that we could have something with our aliens, because we are having really good werewolves right now, we are having really good spellcasters and vampires, so it is a shame that we are having aliens which are not having example the skill tree right now. So I think Get to Work is a really good expansion pack, but it is kinda underwhelming because the main problem with this expansion pack is the repetition. Finally I got it right. Woo, hooray! Well, the active carriers are fun at first, but they quickly became predictable and repetitive. Oh no, I'm not saying that word anymore. But unlike in the Sims 3 ambitions, the jobs kind of feel fleshed out, and every day was a different day from each other, and there was some kind of variety with them. And with this expansion pack, the carriers feel some kind of structured routines that never change. And the retail businesses, they are a great idea, but after the businesses and hobbies expansion pack, they feel some kind of outdated right now, and I'm not really fun with the micromanaging the customers and employees, and the employees are a little bit annoying because they are not doing anything. So I was kind of hoping that the retail system was having some kind of depth that the Sims 2 Open for Business had with the retail system. And the aliens are cool, the very first occult that we had in the game, but I think they will also need really nice update or refresh because they don't have skill tree, and the Sixam, well, I don't think there isn't happening so much in the first place, so I think it feels a little bit lackluster that way. But at that time, the expansion pack was really loved, people really enjoyed that, it was really fun, and I'm getting that, but this point, when it's 10 years later, I think the expansion pack hasn't aged so well in my opinion. So the question is right now, is the Sims 4 Get to Work a must-have expansion pack? And I think it depends on if you love hands-on gameplay or storytelling or the alien occult, you probably would have fun with it. But if you're looking deep or long-term careers or depth in-game drama, I think this isn't the best expansion pack for that. So I think this is all today's video. I didn't go to the cast and BB, but you can imagine they are based around with these carriers. What are your thoughts about this expansion pack? Let me know down in the comments, and I see you in the next video. Bye!